Good morning or afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing today? It doesn't look like it yet, but this is going to be a set of gears. They're beveled gears, so they're not your typical gears. Just wait and find out what they're going to look like. This is the best my lighting's looked on this printer, and I didn't change anything. It's weird. But hopefully today at some time, Amazon's going to be delivering some new filament, some blue PET G, and I'll be printing out a AMS riser for this. And with the AMS riser, I'm adding the LED lights to it. So this lighting right now is going to be 10 times better. Right now, I sort of have it just a ring light propped up against my AMS on top of the printer. So, it's not the best. Really unstable. Oh, I just realized something. I didn't change my infill. I'm using grid. Ew. Want to use gyroid or crosshatch? Hey there, how you doing? Welcome to have you in the stream. Is my mic being picked up all right? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't really have any set times I live stream right now. It's pretty much when I have time. You know how life can get busy. Um, I try to get out one short a day if I can, and at least one longer video a week, sometimes two. But you know, having a full time job, it can be hard to video everything and have time to live stream sometimes. I do not have a Discord yet. It's something I'm planning on setting up. I'm looking into it, so I will post something on the community page when I do get it set up on YouTube. I work with computers. Else that yeah. So yeah, right now it may not look like it, but this is actually a set of gears. They're not your typical sprocket gears. They're beveled gears. Well, I'm sorry about that. Well, when you're in here watching this, sometimes I talk, sometimes I don't. But at the very least, when I'm streaming, I'll try to have some chill music going, so you can just kick back and relax and watch the printer do its work. Now, I do have two different printers. This is the P1S. I also have an A1 Mini. Um, if you want something, when I do the A1 Mini streams, those are a little more chill. Because if you can't tell, this printer is a little chaotic. Well, when you're in the stream, just kick back, relax. I got a few people that like to chat a lot, depending on the time of day. So trying to foster a inclusive community that's friendly and you know doesn't judge anybody for silly things. What's that? Yeah, if you can't be a decent human being, I don't want you in here. As simple as that. Like, you gotta treat people with respect. Thanks for the heads up. So if you haven't seen um, my non-live stream content before, I basically most of my shorts are, cool 3D prints or stuff I find cool. My long form can be a little all over the place, whether it be fixing a printer. Like if I run into an issue with my 3D printer, I will, try to tape it, put it out there to help other people. Could be something cool I make, or it could be some new product I get. So my long form's a little over. I'm focused on 3D printing, but if you want to talk about anything in the lives, feel free to. As long as, it's family friendly. Let's see, Patty Noodle or Patty Nunn. Do different printers make a difference to quality? Yeah. And yes and no. With the lower end printers, you have to put more effort into tinkering and calibrating them. You can get really good print quality off the lower end printers. You just have to put in more work on tuning them and calibrating them. When you pay more for the printer, typically you're paying for, a lot of that stuff that has the software and the hardware for that. Like, this printer I'm using right now is the Bamboo Lab P1S. Honestly, I set it up, did the auto calibration, and it was good to go. Now, other printers? Yeah, there's a lot of tweakings you might have to do. A lot of times messing with the print profiles for what filament you're using. As long as you're willing to put in the time, you can make pretty much any printer print pretty good. So. Most of my prints are PLA silk, but I don't know if you were in the stream earlier when I mentioned this. I'm actually getting some PETG getting delivered today. I'm building a low AMS riser to improve my lighting and help ventilations in case I want to print, or before I can print with the door shut when I'm not streaming. It has vents on top. So it is 12:20. Oh yeah, it's the evening for you over there then. Yeah, if I remember, next time I go live, I will put the camera on my A1 Mini, and the A1 Mini is a lot more chill to watch. The P1S here is a little chaotic. It doesn't help that I picked grid infill, and I should have picked gyroid or crosshatch. I don't like grid infill, but it's not a big print, so I'm not too worried about something going wrong. Hey, anybody that wants to watch this stream, I'll sit down here and talk to them. As long as you're courteous and respectful, I don't have a problem talking to anybody in the stream. I don't know what's going on in all of your personal lives, but I want this to be a place where you don't have to worry about that. You can listen to music, watch a printer, maybe talk a little bit, just generally chill. Well, thanks for watching, Circle. Appreciate watching as long as you did, and hope to see you in a future stream. Top and bottom shell layers. What's your normal preference? I normally just go whatever the default is on a slicer. But that depends. If I'm doing lightning infill for a taller model, where I don't need the structural integrity that like a gyroid would give me, I tend to increase my bottom layers a little bit for the print has a little more of a base. A while back, I printed some gnomes, and I did lightning infill, so they're really hollow on the inside. So I increased my bottom layers, I think, to like doubled or tripled them. As far as the type of design in the slicer for top and bottom layers, again, I go the default. Default normally on top. Again, it depends what I'm doing. Sometimes, let's say I want to print a coaster, and I want to show off the infill, I won't have any top layers. But it all depends on the print. Normally I go defaults for top and bottom, but I have had a few prints for the top where I want a certain pattern, and I'll go with that pattern. It's all about preference, in my opinion. Also, your preference in the print. Like, there might be a reason where you need more layers in the top for structural integrity or whatever. Honestly, for the most part, I print default for most stuff unless I need more structural integrity or I don't need that much integrity. So, if you look at the print right now, you can see the beveled gears are starting to form a little bit. Oh, thank you, Circle. Ironing for me has been hit or miss. I can never get it dialed in how I want it. Sometimes I've used ironing when I don't want any lines on the top. I will use ironing, but sometimes I've had it turn out really good. Other times I've had it turn out terribly. Like I said, so I'm still messing with my settings for ironing. I haven't had anything I really like yet. To really get good ironing, I think I'd have to dial it in for each filament. But, that's the cool thing about 3D printing in general. There's so much versatility what you can do with it, and your imagination is the limit. If you're good at modeling, you can design some really cool stuff. Um, there's some really amazing 3D modelers in the community. I'm still learning. I'm not really good at it. For 0.2 layer height and outer wall. What printer are you using? I'm not too familiar with that printer, but normally for point 0.2 for outer walls, I go 0.42, but I don't see it being that big of a difference if you're going 0.48. Unless you're running into some kind of quality issues, if 0.48 is working for you, keep using it. If you're running some quality issues in your outer walls, I'd reduce it. How do you like that printer so far? For its price, it looks like a really good buy. Yeah, the P1S is an amazing printer. I love it. But you know, it's a little pricier, and I understand that, and that's why I'm really happy to see that there's more affordable Core XYs in the market now. Yeah, I mean, with being a cheaper printer with that Flash Forge in the price range, you're gonna have to do a little more manually dialing in on that one. But I think once you get your everything calibrated and dialed in, that thing's gonna print great for you. And that's one thing, like, yeah, sure, I got bamboos, but I'm not gonna knock on any 3D printers. Like, any of the newer 3D printers that have came out in the past 2 years, I don't think there's any truly bad machines. Um, the technology has advanced so much just in the past 2 years that anything on the market now is head leaps ahead of anything that used to be on the market. You know, everybody's situation is a little different. Um, you know, the price point, what you're looking to print. There's a lot of different use cases of a printer that will work for you. Like right now, like I said, I have the A1 Mini and the Bamboo P1S. I don't have any more space for any more printers. I'd have to get another table and rearrange my office and my office slash studio, I guess you can call it now. Um, the one type of printer I do want is I want a bigger print volume. There's a few on the market right now that I would be interested in. The Neptune Max, I think that's 500 or 450. It's a huge print bed. And possibly the Solvol SV08 for larger print volumes are two I've looked at. And the cool thing is right now, if you haven't noticed over the past, I don't know, about month, as soon as Creality announced their K2 Max, all the other print manufacturers, or printer manufacturers, had a sale. Honestly, right now, P1S. It's, for my use case, it is the best for me. Now, the reason I went with the P1S over, let's say, the normal A1, they're the same print size, and personally, I think P1S and A1 have the same print quality. But the P1S has the enclosure, and with the enclosure, gives me the ability to print more advanced filaments if I want to, like an ABS or an ASA. If I had no plans in the future to print advanced filaments, for my second printer, I probably would have gotten an A1 with the Bamboo sale last month. Again, for my use case, the X1 Carbon, I don't need all those extra bells and whistles. I don't need the LiDAR and everything else that comes with it. And I just couldn't justify spending that much more money on it. But everybody's use case when it comes to 3D printing is going to be different. So what works for me won't necessarily work for you. Now, I did say that I do want a bigger, like a large format helmet class printer for my next printer. And the two I'm looking at right now that are currently on the market, like I said, Elegoo Neptune Max and the Solvol SV08. I am holding off possibly to see what Bamboo does here in the next few months. Because rumors have it that they're going to have a larger print volume printer coming up. I don't know anything else besides that. But this could be a larger printer. But again, I would have to totally redo my workspace to get a third printer in here. Yeah, I do sometimes. I have the AMS with this printer. I don't use it that much, to tell you the truth. Now, with this print, one thing you're going to notice, I did print by object. So, these two are going to print first, right? And when they get done, the second part of the print is going to print in the back left, and that is actually going to be a yellow. So I guess I'm using multicolor this one. So when you use print by object like that, you can print multiple colors on the same plate, as long as they're separated enough for the tool head that wouldn't collide into them. And it'd only be one filament change and one print. Instead of like printing this, taking them off the build plate, and printing the yellow next. Pretty much most of the time when I print multicolor, it's something most people could do with filament swaps. The best thing that I use the AMS for is for I don't have to change our roll when I want to print something in a different color. But, when it comes to printers, I really think there is no one best printer. There is the best printer for you is the one that works for you. So I'm not gonna printer shame or anything like that. There's a lot of good companies out there. They're all making printers now. The one printer I wouldn't mind just playing around with, I don't know if I'd want to own it right now, just because I haven't seen too much about it, is I want to see how the Anycubic Cobra 3 prints with their multi-material system. Yeah, point 0.4 nozzle. Generally, most of my prints are 0.4. If I'm printing something big, or like, if I was gonna do like an engineering print or something like that, where I was worried about nozzle clogging too, I'd probably go up to a 0.6. Pretty much any type of filament with a lot of additives like carbon fiber, glass, I would probably go 0.6 for you reduce nozzle clogging. One thing I really want to do is on my A1 Mini, I have a 0.2, and I've really been thinking about maybe printing some miniatures or something, some really fine detailed stuff. I haven't messed around with that 0.2 nozzle really too much yet. From what I've seen, the A1 Mini really does well with the 0.2. You can get some really fine detail, but your print times are really long though too. Yeah, but right now, my long form videos really have no rhyme or reason. The only thing that ties them all together is they're 3D printed related. Um, if I find something interesting or cool, or I want to, if I tear down my printer and want to show you how I put it back together or fix the issue, I'll make a video on it. If I print something that's really cool, I'll make a video on it. So, if I buy a new product I really like, I'll do a review. So, I'm just a wee little YouTuber. Don't have nobody sending me stuff, so everything you see on my channel right now is stuff I bought with my own money. And that's one thing I'll say right now. If I ever do get that big where companies are sending me stuff, I'm gonna be honest and try to give them the most honest review that I can on a product. I wouldn't sugarcoat it. Like if something's terrible, I will let people that watch my videos know that. I think integrity is one of the biggest things that a content creator can have. Right now, it's in a box. I think in a future live stream, I can probably go over all the stuff. I have some functional prints. I also have a kid. She loves playing with it. I give some of them away, so. I have not messed with any 3D modeling software yet. Pretty much everything you see me print is stuff I've found online or models I've paid for. That's one thing I do want to dive into in the future, is actually creating the models. Whether it be in Blender, Fusion, Onshape, or whatever 3D modeling software I decide to use. No, like I said, I'll be upfront with you, everybody. I'm terrible at 3D modeling, so anything you see me print is probably, downloaded from one of the collections online, or something I've paid for. And there's a bunch of different online 3D model collection sites. You got Thingiverse, Printables, MakerWorld, Cultist, Things, and that's just what I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more. Yeah, right now, I probably have 200 different models I have saved to private collections that I just find really cool that I want to print. That's just right now. I know there's a lot more out there, too. And heck, I think I have 5 shorts that I have edited that after watching them edit, I'm like, I really don't like this print that much. So I went through the process of printing it, filming it, editing it, and I just don't like it. So I don't think I'm gonna release it. Maybe I'll do a supercut of not failed, but like prints I don't like one of these days. But yeah, I got about 5 of them right now that is just, I don't know. There's something about, I don't know how I filmed it or the print itself, I just don't like. So I'm not gonna, if I don't like it, I'm not gonna release it to public like that. One of the shorts I just released last night, the print actually came out a lot better than I thought it would. It's the the devil fruit from One Piece, with the dual silk I used. It looks amazing. That, and I recently did like the split skull Homer Simpson bust. That had to be. I know it doesn't seem like that to most people, but I think that's one of the coolest things I've printed. Like I have that on display right now. Another like just a mind-blowing print I just did was the Magic Portal. I think I have like 2 shorts on it, and I did a video of me assembling it. That thing, like I know how it works, but it's still, the illusion that it gives still blows my mind. So like, I love optical illusion prints. Yeah, like I'm gonna be like, if I can find more optical illusion prints, I will definitely print them and make videos on them. Yeah, I rewatched the long video I made for that, and I can definitely see where I need to improve. There are some things, if I could redo it, maybe have a slightly different setup, I could do a lot better. Because, I don't know if you knew this, but besides these live streams, that's a webcam this is done on, all my content, I'm filming on a phone. So every single video, besides live streams that you've seen on my channel, has been filmed on a phone. Yep. When I recently got my first 3D printer, the A1 Mini, there was this one content creator that I was following, and he, I took this really to heart. He pretty much said, if you have a phone, you can make content. With the cameras on phones nowadays, you can do a lot. They're really good cameras. I'm still upset with myself. I forgot to switch this from grid to. I should have. I wanted to do gyroid. I hate grid infill. It's boring to look at. It can cause collisions sometimes with your printer. No. Like, have you ever seen a nozzle on a printer that looks like it just broke right off at a 90-degree angle? Yeah, I bet they're probably using grid infill. This is a set of beveled gears. It's gonna be a hand crank gear system. I'm hoping it comes out okay, like I think it's going to. I really like the mechanical type prints that show gears in action. Yeah, I think, was it last Monday or Sunday? I did a hand crank helical gear system, where you would turn a gear, it would turn another gear, and it'd turn a third gear that was perpendicular to that. So you pretty much have your rotation turning to 180 degrees, which I really thought was cool. This is the Bamboo Lab P1S. Actually, sometime today, if Amazon's correct, I should be getting some stuff for a new project I'm going to be working on. I am going to be printing a low profile AMS riser for my Bamboo. Because right now, this lighting you see in there isn't the default light bar. What it is I have a ring light propped up against my AMS on top of the printer. It's really janky and not that stable. So I want to print an AMS riser with an LED strip that goes around inside of it to provide better lighting. And that's going to be printed out of PETG for the heat resistance. Yeah, the P1S is a little chaotic when it prints. I also have an A1 Mini, and I do need I need a live stream that printing again. Um, the A1 Mini is just so much more chill to watch than the P1S. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah, I don't have any problems asking questions about 3D printing. Heck, you can ask anything. I don't guarantee I'll answer it, but never be afraid to ask questions in here, okay? Now, I don't know everything about 3D printing. But if I have an answer about 3D printing, I will let you know to the best of my knowledge what I know. And if it's non 3D printing related, depending on the question, I might answer it. But like I said, never be afraid to ask questions in here. Just keep it family friendly. Welcome back. What kind of print plate do you have? Is it a smooth plate? Is it a textured print plate, or is it like is it smooth? So, in general, first thing, take some dish soap, scrub that plate clean. After it's clean, because the thing about the plates there on your bed, if they get your finger oils on them, it can cause bed adhesion issues. Secondly, what type of filament is it? I'm gonna assume PLA. Am I right? Well, if it's PLA, I would recommend taking some purple glue stick and doing a thin layer on your bed. That would help with bed adhesion. Um, there's also some other products out there that help with bed adhesion. But I'd start with purple glue stick. Um, make sure your bed's level as well. Those are the things I'd check first. Yeah, I think the V3 SE that has the smooth build plate. So if you watch the stream right here, this I'm using a textured PIE plate, and it's really good for PLA bed adhesion. I'm not sure if there's something like that for the Ender series or not. But yeah, in general, glue stick, wash bed, glue stick, bed level, and possibly maybe look into some third-party bed adhesion stuff. I know there's some products out there. I can't think of the name of the products right now. But no, yeah, I go for the cheap stuff first. Like I said, washing, glue stick, bed leveling. And if that doesn't work, depending on your materials, I'd look into some of the third-party bed adhesion solutions. There's some really good chemicals out there that would help out. I know if I was ever printing like really expensive filaments, I would probably buy some of the bed adhesion compounds to help out. Because once you start using those engineering filaments, like a half roll can be like $100. That's like just for 500 grams. Like that stuff. Yeah, I'd spend a few extra bucks on a third-party bed adhesion solution then. Actually, you know what? Let me look up. There's a product I'm thinking of, and I can't think of it. Hold on. Is it? Are you just printing PLA, or are you printing PETG? Shouldn't really matter though. Yeah, that. So, wash your bed plate. Make sure it's level. Apply glue stick. If that doesn't work, hold on. What's the name of this product? Just a second. Okay, I found what I was looking for. I know a lot of people that use this. It's called Vision Minor Nano Polymer bed adhesion. And I know somebody was telling me it's They have a small bottle. It's like $5. I'm just trying to find it now on their website. I thought they had smaller bottles on their website. I thought they had a $5 bottle, but I'm not seeing it on their website at all. Because I'd recommend the $5 bottle, but like $20 for the 50 milliliter. I mean, that's starting to get a little pricey for a lot of people. So yeah, do some research on the Vision Miner nanopolymer adhesive. I've heard nothing but good things about that for adhesion, but I have not used it myself. Another thing to consider for PETG on that your printer is making sure you have the correct bed temperature as well. Like I said, I it's like a last resort type of thing that you could go with. It can. I'm thinking your issue can probably be resolved just by tinkering with it a little bit. Washing build plate, purple glue stick, um, bed leveling. Oh, okay. Yeah, international shipping can be a pain sometimes. Another thing you might want to play with if those don't take care of the issues is adjusting your layer speed, first layer speed, and bed and print temperatures. So you might have to do a little bit of tinkering to get it to work if the first things I told you don't work. But I think you should be able to resolve that issue. And you're still having bed adhesion issues? Huh. Do you by chance have any PLA you can do a test print in? Because I'm wondering if your PET G has gotten moisture in it. Because that does soak up moisture pretty well. Oh, geez, that's terrible. So is it like just the first layer that's coming up, or is it like as you're printing, like it starts to get knocked off the higher you print? Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can safely dry filament if you don't have a dryer. I would recommend doing a quick search on Google or YouTube for ways to dry PETG. Have you slowed down your print speed? That's another thing you could try, because you might just be printing too fast for whatever filament you're using. And another thing might want to try, or tinker with a little bit, is adjusting your cooling fan speed. I mean, it could just be a bad filament too. I'm not sure. Yeah, I've actually never used a Creality printer myself, so yeah. TPU is normally really sticky. You know what? When's the last time you updated the firmware on that machine? So it's been in your closet for a while. It might be worth updating the firmware on it and see if that helps fix your issue as well. Okay, this idea might sound crazy, but I'm wondering, because I ran into this issue once with my A1 Mini, where it had a partial clog in its nozzle. It would still print, sort of print, but the it wouldn't extrude properly, and I'd get like blobs or under extrusion, which led to some bed adhesion issues. After I cleared the clog in the nozzle, it seemed to fix it up. I'm wondering maybe that's Something like that might be up with it. Okay, so that rules that out. Yeah, I'm racking my brain right now to try to think of stuff you could do. It sounds like you've done a lot already. And you made sure all your belts and everything were tight for the all the motion accesses or accesses. Oh, what else could you do? Yeah, pretty much everything that we've talked about, or I've talked about already, for most issues, it should resolve them. And I'm starting to draw a blank right now if you've done all that stuff. A good place to get some more information about the printer itself is maybe head on over to the Creality Discord, and I think they have some uh, channels in their Discord for the Ender series with the SV and all the V3s. There might be something that I'm overlooking because I don't have the printer that that group of people might be able to help you out with. The funny thing is, I know some people that have the SE, and they haven't ran into any issues. I know also some other people that really like the Ender 3 V3 KE as well. But it sounds that you should know that printer inside and out. If you want right now, though. Is that gonna take a long time to when you eventually buy it? A long time to ship to New Zealand. Yeah, once you eventually get that and installed again, I would hop over to the Creality Discord and go to their channel for the Enders and explain everything you've done. And that group of people should be able to help you out a lot. They know those printers really well. I mean, it's Creality Discord, but yeah. So I haven't used Creality printers, so I couldn't tell you the little nitty details about it, but like I was saying, in general, all the advice I gave you is like should work on most printers. It shouldn't matter the brand, but it's almost sound like you're having something specific to that printer. On a side note, though, that silk I'm printing in right now looks like it's coming out really nice. So you can't tell, well, you sort of can tell. This is actually a dual silk that I'm printing with right now. It's supposed to be red and blue, but it comes out more blue and purple, which I'm fine with. I think the color combo looks good, but when I bought it, I thought it was going to be like blue and red. Man, I'm sorry about that, man. That just... It's just a bummer when something like that happens. I'm sorry you had to go through all this trouble with that printer. Honestly, for the price point, if you ever do want to get another printer that's on the lower price end, that doesn't have as many, you won't have as many issues with. I'm not sure what what the conversion to New Zealand dollars is, but the A1 Mini, at least in US dollars right now, is 200. I think it might be on sale on Bamboo's site. And it prints faster than the SE, and I'm pretty sure the quality is going to be better than the SE too. Build plate's a little bit smaller. That's a trade-off you're making. But if you really, if you're going to save up some money again, and you want to get back into 3D printing, I'd almost recommend the A1 Mini for you right now. Okay, so around the same price point. But sounds like the cheaper option for you is to try to get that SE up and running again eventually. You gotta do what's, best for you in this case. Well, if you do decide to get a new power supply, keep me updated of how that goes. I'm curious if you can get it working. You know, it sounds like you just got some freak accident happen or some freak defect with your printer. You won the wrong lottery. But it happens. I mean, I know people have bought brand new cars, 1,000 miles in, engine blows on it. I mean, it happens sometimes. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm sorry it happened to you with your printer. Now that sounds like a fun project. I don't have the space to do that right now, but I have watched a lot of videos on people doing that, something similar. Oh, I would take all my plastic bottles and turn them into filament. That'd be so much fun. No way. That's crazy. Well, I'm happy nothing burnt down or anything. At least I hope I didn't. I don't know. Shipping might be a little expensive on that. I'm over here in the U.S., so that does remind me. That's one thing I need to think about doing right now is setting up a PO box or something, because people want to send me stuff eventually in the future. I don't want them to send it to my direct address. Don't want to give that out, privacy reasons. But yeah, I'll have to get a PO box or something. Not quite big enough yet for a PO box, I don't think. But heck, if people want to start sending me stuff in the future, it's something I'm gonna have to get. Man, that's scary. I've had electronic power supplies blow on me before, and when you smell that, you freak out. I know how that goes. Well, if you're ever interested in making content, I think fixing that printer, adding the new power supply, and if you're gonna make a filament machine, both of those would probably be really cool content to share if you're interested in making content one day. And heck, all of my videos, minus my live streams, are done on a smartphone. My live streams, this is the webcam I have hooked up to my computer, but all of my shorts and long form videos are all done on a phone. I record everything on my phone and move it over to my computer and edit it on my computer. I don't know if you were in the stream earlier when I said this. I really don't think any of the modern 3D printers are bad. Um, I think obviously you ran into a freak accident by the sounds of it with the power supply and everything. But most modern printers, if you spend the time tinkering with them, will print just fine. You might have, for the lower priced ones, you might have to do a little more tinkering, but or calibration for the lower ones. But most in general, most of the time, they should be fine. There is no one best printer, in my opinion. The best printer is the one that works for you, um, based on your budget and your needs. Oh, looks like these spiral gears are almost done printing. Once these finish up, you'll see the print tool head here move to the back and start printing the rest of this print in the back in the yellow filament. That's a maybe. A new build plate might work. I'd like to think if you did bed leveling, that would fix a lot of your issues. But if you can get it cheap enough, it'd be at least worth trying. Um, so. Like I said, once you get it up and running again, with that new power supply, I would hop over to the Crealities Discord and ask the folks over there. Because they would know that printer really well. That's just thank you. I appreciate that. But I'll be the first to admit, if I don't know something, I'll be honest with you guys. And yeah, if you've done all that stuff with the printer, yeah, you need to. The dudes over at the Creality Discord are a lot wiser at me in those printers, and hopefully they should be able to help you out. Well, I wonder when Amazon's gonna get here. Because once it gets here, I'm gonna have to do a few test prints of that Pet G to make sure it's printing okay. And start printing those Pet G parts. It's gonna be like a 20-hour print for me. I think it's 6 different build plates I'll have to print for the AMS riser. I'll probably do a few, like, some small test prints with that Pet G just to make sure everything's working with it. Then I'll send it for the bigger one. I gotta step away for a quick second. I'll answer any questions or comments when I get back to the back. Um, but for the next few minutes, just enjoy the printer and the chill music.